Hey guys, Dark Meatheus here, welcome. And we're gonna learn some EU5. I've not dabbled in EU5 at all, so we're gonna have some fun. And we're gonna learn this playing like this England. The easiest one to kind of learn, doing it through there. And then because it is an island, yes, you have the 100 Years War, like immediately. However, you have a situation where you're on an island, so it's not easy to invade you. The first goal in this is to learn a lot of the mechanics and eventually go forward and colonize. So we'll worry about things in Europe as a whole, solidify our hold on the Isles, and then go from there. Also France. We got to worry about France. We want to hold the territories that we have in France for as long as possible. So, King of England, we start out as King Edward III Plantagenet. So, if I'm not mistaken, the third was this the last king before the War of the Roses? Or was it Richard? Because Richard takes over. Then it goes Henry IV, who was a Lancaster. That's right. War of the Roses is like one of the biggest things. It doesn't happen for another 100 years, which leads into what, Edward the Fourth? Yeah, which leads to Edward the Fourth and the rise of House Tudor. Interestingly enough, my family, before they fled this area, is from around this area, around Chester, went somewhere in there, just inside Wales. So, yeah, little cool fact. Like, one portion is from there, another portion is from, where is, it's from right around here. So, some cool bits here. Obviously, we'll play a Poland game later, but we're playing England. Our primary culture is obviously English, Catholicism. And then we have 3.3 million people. We have 138 locations. The base income and tax in England is decent. The army size of 58,000 and navy size of 21. Looking through this, we got a lot of bonuses. We'll kind of go through this, but we do have description. So the English crown is still reeling from the treacherous rebellion that occurred 10 years prior, resulted in the underhanded assassination of King Edward II. Although the ringleaders were executed, several co-conspirators have been granted mercy in the name of peace, a peace which could easily be shattered at any moment. Meanwhile, King Edward II's surviving heir, King Edward III, has already proven to be a capable young ruler and is making bold decisions on the French throne, a throne which is birthright as the grandson of a Capet ruler. In the north, the misguided Balliol quickly contends for the Scots crown. Who is running Baal? Here's King Baal here. While our loyal vassals maintain a tight grip on the governments of Wales, Hale, and Aquitaine. Yeah, sciences. How shall we brave the turbulent years to come? Should we cross the channel and become a continental power, or should we look to the seas for global domination? Well, obviously we're going to look to the seas. Come on. All right, he has an 80 diplomatic ability, 66 diplo. I think administrative. Okay, this is administrative. This is diplomatic and then military. So we get all of these things through there. We are a settled country. We're a monarchy. We're a kingdom. Okay, let's hop into this. We'll learn more about all of this as time goes on, because we're definitely going to take the tutorial stuff. Here we are, the Kingdom of England. So we already read that. Non-integrated provinces. We're going to be reading a lot of stuff. This is going to be a tutorial campaign for the most part, as you going to go through and learn the game with me. So conquered locations need to be integrated. Okay. Instruct the cabinet to integrate a province in the government panel. If our cabinet cannot keep up their conquest, consider creating a subject. This is probably why we have all these subjects over here, and we have to slowly integrate them. Okay. Top satisfaction will be much lower, which trigger rebellions. Same thing that I would think. Okay. Pop satisfactions. So our slow stability, discriminate cultures, religions, and angriest states. Okay. That's kind of the idea there. That makes sense. Ops demanding goods. We have a whole good market stuff. Okay. We'll have to look at that through that. Lack of a commander. We'll have to do commander stuff. We're going to do that through the walkthrough. Underage heir. Okay. We have to not kill our guy. Government reforms are possible. Okay. We'll learn about that. Gonna go through this and so on. The mission is disabled. The game rules? What? How do I not have that? Huh? Okay, here it is. Hold on. All right, we just have to turn on mission stuff because we're learning the game. Okay. Okay, 5 centuries of history about to unfold. Okay. WASD, yeah, we get that. Scroll wheel, zoom in and out. Tab of the whole world. Blue text, yeah, and then little mouse button to kind of hold it. Yep, you get it. There's the nation, okay. Top bar consists of your elements. Goes in real time, okay. Estates. So we have the English lords, then the English clergy, English burgesses, and the yeomanry, okay. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Taxes, army levies. Each character belongs to one of the states. Increases power when you appoint to a cabinet. Okay. But all of them are kind of going down. Okay. So this is our buckets of ducats here. We're losing stability, which is going down. Actually, it's stabilized. Our total population, which is population in this game now. The legitimacy, which this is big. It's currently trickling up. Prestige, which is currently trickling down. Diplomats. War exhaustion. Manpower. To our regulars and not our peasants. Here's the sailors. Okay. That's current research. Okay, you need to build your soldiers, building up your cities. Okay, yeah, population is the one thing we have to do. Okay, there's ages, age of tradition, Renaissance, discovery, Reformation, absolutism, and revolution. Okay. You have access to new researches. Okay. You want me to go over the basic elements? There are government, economy, production, society, military, geopolitics, and advances. Each one of these. The game hints. Okay, it kind of gives you some hints. What you need to do. As mentioned, duck is one of the most important resources in the game. Just open the economy tab. So here is the balances. Cost of the court, army maintenance, navy, fort maintenance, diplomatic spending, food, which is a thing for armies, stability, building maintenance, which is buildings that you've built. We can met stuff for inflation, the lord's tax, clergy, burgesses, yeomen, selling food, and diplomacy. Okay. Difference between your income and your expenses. Okay. Monthly based on land you own. And here it is. So the issue more so is that the centralization of the country is not great enough, so the tax base is not getting the efficiency because of also the crown power. Okay. Directly going to your treasury as a government, you only collect a fraction of the tax base by exacting taxes from your estates. Okay, the more you tax them, the less their stuff goes down. Obviously, yes. When you automate your tax by clicking the cog icon, let's do that. Let's automate that. And then what we'll have to do is print them to get that inflation. There's minting. You can freely mint your heart's content. Okay. Make sure you're not creating inflation. There we go. The other two most common sources of income are trade and food, since those are more advanced concepts. We'll not cover them for now. Okay. Trade, moving goods between markets, establishing trade routes, require new goods. Okay. I'm not sure if we can see that right now. And local food, provincial, and market food. Okay. Also, we're a bit looking. You can adjust the speed to 3 or 4. Okay. Okay. Can I see my infrastructure? Here it is. Is this already what we have? Okay, this is how much it actually takes. Let me see if there's any roads in this. Port. I guess on the on here you can kind of see it. I might build a road down to Chichester all the way down to, oh my god, football manager name now, Truro. But let's do it down here. Okay. And probably getting one up to Norwich. There we go. We'll get those roads. We'll increase a little bit of movement around. We'll get that up. Okay, we see the numbers of state and max. Okay. Continuing pretty well towards the tax. Okay, our tax base is going up. Take a look at the expenses. Okay, spending ducats. Maintenance of your standing armies, navies, and active fortifications. Reducing their maintenance during peacetime is a sensible idea. Okay. Now let's put that down. Okay. One of the keystones of ruling in Europa Universalis, not only is a source of tax, but also be powerful access. Alright, the government tab. Here are the estates. So we have the crown, lords, clergy, burgesses, and yeomanry. Okay. Each state is a percentage of estate power. As the embodiment of the nation, you're represented by the crown. Your crown power represents your ability to oppose the particular interests of your states. Namely, it allows you to exact higher taxes, increases state satisfaction, support in the parliament, makes changes to laws easier. Okay. You can learn more about crown power in the crown power hint. Makes enacting laws easier, efficiency of your cabinet, and our base support in parliament. There's a profits cost of trade and food with the estates. Privileges granted to estates, the control. Okay. Building roads from the capital. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Increase our location. Increase control and locations by building roads in the from the capital. Revoke privileges from our most powerful estates when we have highest ability, but keep an eye on their satisfaction. Increase legitimacy. Build a royal court or sergeantry in the capital. Okay. At 50% crown power, half the expenses and profits for trade will go into. Okay. The crown power. Where's our crown power? Okay, our crown power is actually. He's actually 13. Okay. Okay, future stuff. Can do that. Okay, we have Magna Carta, which increases a lot of stuff. Can we do another thing? Food production. Diplomat enforced religious. Office. Trade office networks. Autocracy, which gives you more crown power. Feudal nobility. To be honest, I'd like this. Food production. Where's our food production at? Do we know what that is, actually? From the market standpoint. Silver cloth, salt, jewelry. Food imports. I feel like we're pretty good right now. Unless we can increase our trade range. We could with the trade office. Okay, here we go. Innovative. I think we do the trade office. Let's do the trade office. Because this could actually help our trade range and get our stuff off. Okay, so that'll be our next reform. then we can always change that. Okay, your crown power. Okay, your estates can be powerful assets when managed correctly, but if displeased, can quickly turn into an insidious thorn in the back. On top of contributing to your treasury with taxes, estates are essentially the business of war, since you will depend on their levies to fight your wars until you can afford to replace them with regular regiments. However, if they're disloyal, they might supporting rebellions. Okay. And if they're above 50%, they will provide different bonuses. Okay. What's the bonus here? Do I build this? But I think they build it, maybe. Okay. Maybe they have their own. Okay, come additional facts. Fucking privileges will anger and weaken. Some privileges might align with your interests, granting new privileges in time of need. Okay. The lords are supported by the nobles. Okay. Clergy is supported by the clerics. Burgesses by the burghers. Yeomanry is supported by peasants, laborers, and soldiers. Population lives and dies at your location. It is on the map, so just take a look at them. Okay, made different countries their own location on the map from where they extract the resource and manpower they need to stay ahead of their neighbors. If you do not, you will see the country names appear on the map. Let's open France. Okay. Measure nothing without locations. Locations are the heart of the economy and politics in the country in EU5. They produce goods, generate tax base, and they are also home to population of different social classes. Religions and cultures. Please have different location like city, town, world, sub. Okay. City's like my capital at this point. Town. And a rural. Okay. Like Oxford. Okay, rural settlements. Your capital's London. You recognize it by the golden star. Okay. Building levels in London. Okay. Control is not great up there. Needs control down at Dover. Okay. Stop for a moment to take a look at the control groups. You load the bottom of your screen. Serves a quick way to access a variety of things in the game. Okay. Control 1. Okay. Now pressing the sign will pan to London. Okay. Take a look at the location panel now. Any location is populated by different social classes. As we just saw, possible increase the estate power of their respective estates. Okay, so it's broken down by estate. Okay. The amount of pops of each social class depend mainly on the buildings. President and location buildings can be built by you or your estates. Okay, the estates can build. Okay. For specific social class. Peasants will promote the necessary social class to fill them. Some buildings will produce goods, which are sold to market, generates the tax base of location. Not all locations have buildings at the beginning of the game, but every location specializes in producing one specific good in their resource gathering operations or RGO. It's their initials resource gathering. To each can employ up to 1,000 laborers are slaves, while the maximum level depends on development, advances, and other things. Okay. That is a special type of group that employs laborers to produce raw goods, much like buildings. RGLs sell their goods in the market to location to generate tax base at the beginning of the game. Okay. The market's hint. As for pop needs, buildings, constructions. Okay. Markets panel. Do we have a markets panel? The economy. Here it is. Markets with a green header contain our owned. Do we actually own the London market though? Okay, so this is how you increase the marketplace in these areas. Do burger potter, trade advantage, trade capacity. Okay, that's how you increase that. Our presence, trade advances. Okay, market warehouses. That's stockpile capacity. Let's trade capacity. You to market center, wharf, marketplace, and Chester Wharf. This only goes to flow to and from our markets, demand an increase in our capacity to store them for the construction of a market warehouse. So this increases but and then food, are we pretty good? Okay. Can we see a burger, one of the potters, distillers, weaponsmith, spinners, tanners? Okay, there is a marketplace here, and it's just not having enough of a couple of things. Is it in smithing? Tools. Tar. Okay, can I look at something and actually do... There it is. So weapons just come out with weapons. I'm looking for like what could build. Essentially like Royal Court. Library, Stone Quarry, Forest Village. This gives me leather. Overall smelter. What would this actually give me? Just local iron, copper, tin, and lead output. So you have buffs there. Proximity source. Peddler's Guild. Do I not have a way to make certain things? Masonry makes mason goods. Can we not get enough? Like metal? Was this tar? There's a shortage in England. There's no actual tar here. Interesting. Okay. I'm looking for other ones. Like there was one for Storage Guild. Here it is. Need gold or silver for this. Do I have any silver areas that can do it? I do. I have one here and there. RGO builder. It's in Tipperary. There's our barn. This Barnstable. In Barnstable. Okay. This would give me 33.5. So let's expand that. Now, what do I need to do? Things like this. There's a couple of places that we can expand. London has a big profit margin. Let's build it there. Okay, yeah, and there's of course an efficiency. Okay, so what was the other thing? It was there's one that like helped. It wasn't a kiln. It was that makes iron. Huh. What was it? Jewelry tools. That's making tools. Potter's Guild. The temple? No. Which is Market Village. New market access. Charcoal kiln. Sawmill? No. Tar kiln. The carpenters. Settlement lumber mill. The tailor. I missed it again. There's like a rural smelter. Here it is. And this is for iron, copper, tin, lead. Okay, so I'd have to be more attuned to it. Oh, okay. So you're essentially making... You're making small things to it. Okay. This makes so much more of an idea for a lot of these things. Tar kiln. I do need more tar. We don't have anywhere else. Where's the lumber at, for example? Could we make it in the same spots? Okay, that actually is smart. Okay, I kind of get how this works now. I 100% get how this works. Because what you're doing is you're slowly amping things up to be able to look at where some of the shortages are and so on. Can we see, for example, in the economy, where are shortage for goods? Okay, and you can expand like beer. Can we make a beer production? Do you have things like wheat? Winery, glass, saltpeter. Can we make something like a farming village? Okay. What about, say, a fruit orchard? How much do we have in fruit? Okay. Da-da-da. With that idea, could we actually get a brewery? Okay. It actually makes this building is actually really good. And then some things can be just built in case you need something. Okay. I actually get that a lot more than as we go through it. Okay, location tax base. Close. Okay, remember receiving fractional ducats. Click on London, hover over the tax base. On London, hover over the tax base. Okay, lords, clergy, Burgess. Okay. Let's recap. Okay, buildings into tax base and pops, which belong to estates, which provide taxes and levies. Okay. Not all locations are equal under the sun. Let's discuss one of the most important stats of a location: control. Okay. In other words, tax-based location is scaled by the percentage of control you have over it. Control of a location is directly dependent on its proximity to your capital. Aspire capital is one of the most important locations. Okay. Learn more about proximity control here. Okay. By proximity, your capital will have a or does sufficiently long roads, open terrain, and sea zones with high maritime presence. Less efficiency through mountain forests and sea zones infested with pirates. Concentrate your building efforts in our capital and surrounding locations, and will naturally enjoy the highest control from the beginning of the game. Build the roads from the location panel in order to connect our capital to our wealthiest cities. Locations with a port might have an easier time reaching the capital through sea, especially if you have high harbor capacity. You can increase it in our key coastal locations with buildings like a wharf or dock. Newly conquered location will start at 0. Okay. Goods produced will still reach the market, so you might want to build up important resources. Defense will promote Fushmaster and locations with high control. Okay. Let's take a moment to see map modes. There are different lenses. If you hover over the control, we'll tip in the location panel. Ah, so that's how you do it. You can see control. All right. Now see on the map distributed control across your land. Notice how control tends to decrease further from locations. Okay, we need to have roads built over here. Yeah, that's through. Okay. Faraway location from your capital. Okay. Various markets around the world. By Control Q. Oh, here's all the map modes. Okay, market. Population. Cultures. Control. Raw materials. Nice. Tax base. Political. Terrain. Okay. Control. There are multiple ways, but one of the most important ones is building roads. Okay. Let's build a road from London. Notice it will cost you ducats. Open the panel. Click on the road builder. I've already done all of that stuff. Okay. Takes so much to finish, but you can see the construction progress in the widgets over the map. Okay. Cost ducats, require some goods and from the market. Take time to complete. Roads, harbors allow for proximity. Proximity allows for control, which improves crown power, tax base, and levies. Okay, that's pretty easy to come into. So that actually pretty simple of a system. Okay, here's the outliner. Outliners offer overview of what's going on in the country. Much like roads. It's going to take a while. Expand the mines. Okay. Current navies, current standing armies. Markets. So we have 2 markets. And pop needs in each. The Edinburgh, though, is not ours, I don't think. The Edinburgh one is actually used by the North, so I need to actually increase the London market so it goes into that. Okay. You can access the context menu. Open a context menu. We're right-clicking a location or county. Okay. And pin a location on the place. Okay. You'll access everything you need on the right side. We have all okay, but you can automate anytime from the automation panel. Okay, this is full automation. Hold to save. Okay, this is all the stuff we kind of want to control and slowly go through things. So, good. Using during campaigns the alerts. Red is urgent, green is not. Okay. Look at the agenda at the beginning of every game where you find a little bit of historical context. I'm blind. Here it is. Yep. We've kind of already done that. And the basic walkthrough, you can proceed by embarking on a specific walkthrough of your choosing. Pick a government tab, open the missions tab. Let's pick an expansion because we're about to fight France. So let's do an expansion walkthrough. Open the military. Overview of your armies. In the event of a war, armies can be moved across the map to engage enemy armies and occupy enemy locations. Armies are composed of regiments of 3 different types. The levies raised from your population. Okay. Generally weak to maintain. Regulars who are professional soldiers. That's where the manpower comes in. Mercenaries can be hired with ducats. At the start of the game, most countries will primarily rely on levies. There are states to wage their wars, but as time progresses and advances are made, there will be shifts from professional regiments which require manpower. Navies are the naval equivalent to armies and follow a similar pattern with naval levies and professional ships requiring sailors. So, getting that. We should take a moment to talk about manpower. As we mentioned, regular regiments require manpower to be recruited. Also, be reinforced to ever suffer casualties. Is there a mix? To a maximum of 3. So we're at our max actually. Or no, we need monthly. We need more manpower. Okay. I need to build a sergeant tree. We covered armies and navies. You should talk more generally about war and casus belli. When war starts, a war starts when a country issues a declaration of war. War can be declared for a legitimate reason, as casus belli, which makes peace. Going to war without one is very possible, but still have bigger impact on your stability and opinion of your neighbors. Best way to obtain a casus belli is requesting one from your parliament through the government panel, spy networks, or cores, or if you're rivals. Okay. Each war is won through the accumulation of war score, which can be gained by winning battles, managing to occupy enemy locations, and most importantly, by achieving the war goal. Every war is fought with a war goal, which depends on the casus belli of the attacker. A war has 2 war leaders, both of which can have multiple war allies. Okay. Well, you can occupy enemy territories during the course of a war. They will not actually change hands till the war is over. Okay, we kind of already know about all this. This is like any other thing. Terrain. An occupation of sea chintz. Okay. But war, you accumulate war exhaustion. Be a peace. Okay. Functions the same real way. Controlling new territory. So roads into harbors, proximity control, improves ground power. Okay. Yep. Learn about integration from non-integration. Hacker locations be integrated into our administration in order to contribute to the wealth of our realm. We should strive to integrate all locations as soon as possible. But the cabinet to integrate. So I believe at this point we do have something that's not integrated. Like a cabinet. Here it is. Okay, we can't do this yet because we need money. Okay, I kind of get that. Open geopolitics. In the age of discovery, many countries start their exploration. You can see over your exploration opportunities. Okay. Diseases. Okay, and this costs. Okay. That makes more sense. I'll start an expansion mission. Do regional expansion. It can be accessible. We recommend you go through them in order to solidify and expand what you learn, but remember you can always start one of the other walkthroughs. Okay. Okay. To raise a war chest, which takes a year to complete, gets us taxes. At least one of these. Our commoners are stated as common militias. So we can raise an army. Okay. So that's been done. Already bypassed. We can't obtain a casus belli. Let's raise a war chest. Okay. We do have a non-integrated province. So we have a truce until then. An underage heir with the Viscount Edward. He's shrewd. He's got a balanced education. I might move him over to an expensive education, but we'll see. We'll keep that unprofitable buildings. Okay. Best patriots. Let's just metal distribution. Export ban. Ooh. Are you banning the gold? So pops have needs. You have buildings with missing inputs. Ask to improve cultural opinion. Can be used again. Okay. Possible religious. So this gives us actual crown power. We lose. The clergy use some. But I think we can get that back. What is religious inference? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna hit this because it's gonna give us crown power. All right. Who do I want to declare as my... I don't really have another person I want to make a rival to. And now we have a bunch of children that can have better. Let's look. Cancel fast. We'll give them part of our territory. Force culture, return land. Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. Let's build a spy network in France. Okay. Let's improve opinion with Probably Castile. Bohemia. Okay. Of course, we have the Prussian Crusade. Also build a spy network. Yeah, we actually can't do that. All right. That's good. Lack of commander. Red River. Okay. Someone that's good here. Sir Miles Stapleton. Okay. Oh, this is a navy. Our diplomatic. John of Gray. Is the admiral here? Okay. Research. We only have organized religion. Possible clerics in towns and cities and max literacy. The only one that we have, and then we can go into the other one. Institution growth guilds, which is nice. Monthly diplomats. Okay. It's just the hits panel. And raise a war chest, which we're doing. Okay. So we have some things that we need money with. So let's check our economy. We're trying to make sure that we don't actually do anything crazy. Let's go forward. As preparations for a major military campaign intensify, the estates see an opportunity to profit from the royal need for a well-stocked war chest. The lead financiers within our kingdom have approached the court with an enticing proposal. A substantial loan at a competitive rates aimed at funding the ongoing war effort. However, accepting their offer could strengthen their influence, potentially shift the balance of power among the estates. So we take this. This is... What's I mean, I will take this. We do take one debt, and the debt is only one ducat, so we'll take that. Okay. Yeah, with that, I'm gonna look at my heir. We're gonna give a better education. Okay. And then we're gonna worry also about some other things. Up with needs, laws not codified. Let's get someone in here. Let's get someone with good crown power. For Thomas. Let's get Thomas in this. And then we can do a... What is it? Integrate a province. All right. So we're paying him. How much is this? get another one. Let's get someone with good Diplo. John of Warreen is a pretty good one. Let's get him in. Also good at military. Okay, so this action, let's go with speed, balance control, ability, prestige. Can we strengthen prestige? We can do legitimacy. It is going up. What about stability? Could do stability. We might do a province control. And I think we do it with Norfolk up here. It has the most population. So let's increase that. All right. Parliament was already called. Let's see what else we can do. Control. The council. Oh, hold on. The crown is here. I could, you know what? I'm gonna call this. Okay. So we get much more with that. And the reason why we called that, we can come over to the estates. And so this is going to keep on going up. The clergy, what do they have? Forced religious unity and literacy. We can go or different pop promotion speed. That doesn't help things. Building investments. Ooh, this might be good. There's communalism. Actually, we should be fine. The lords. Looking for things that would give us a little bit food, but this is more towards serfdom. Naval. Where are we at that? We're kind of more towards naval at the moment. Only nobility as leaders. It doesn't help me. I don't see anything. Burgesses. Land rights. Building cost. Plutocracy. Market attraction. Ooh. Maybe over a capital economy. What is my buff for a capital economy? Group production goes down, bank interest, production efficiency goes up. Raw materials, population capacity, food. Innovative. I might want to do that, to be honest. You know what? I am going to take that for it. And they might get a little angry, but kind of is what it is. Let's do control over coinage. And English lords will eventually go back up, so we'll do that. Because the economy is probably more. And I'm going to test something. Now, we're trying to do a toll castle in Jersey. Emil has... Okay. I would rather have the trade export, I think. But I'm going to see something here. They're trying to do a toll castle in Jersey. A toll castle in Jersey. I need more with that income. All right, France demands Sir Robert Artois. Okay, it's demanded we return Sir Robert Artois, who's taken refuge in court, has become a trusted advisor. Act defiance. I will defy it. We'll make preparations, and we will get ready for the invasion of France. Okay, we have the Casus Belli. Okay. We can no longer disregard the fact that French claims that their Salic laws make King Philippe VI the fortunate of the Valois, King of France, when it clearly should be King Edward III. His mother, Dame Isabel de Chibot of Capet, the sister of King Charles IV. Okay. The 100 Years' War was a long and brutal conflict between England and France that lasted from 1337 to 1453. It started when the English king claimed the French crown, arguing his right through his mother's bloodline. While the French rejected this under their own laws, both sides had already overlapping territories in France, which only fueled the fire. What followed was a prolonged on and off war filled with battles, betrayals, and shifting alliances that dragged on for over a century and shifted the geopolitical landscape of all of Western Europe forever. We are the rightful kings of France. We get to conquer the throne of France, cast his ability on France for 4 years. We will gain access to unique actions such as grant subject titles, request papal delegates to the situation panel. Okay. Can we give them something else? Innovative. I do need that. And we have... It's a toll. This outbreak of measles. Okay, that's not good. I wonder... I probably went a little bit too hard with this. Nominee protest the war chest. As the Royal Court forces on amassing a substantial war chest to fund the future military campaigns, discontent begins to brew among the lower class, and the nominee struggle under the weight of increased taxes. Partial yield. Let's get them. Grant them some concessions. They get 7 gold. It's not really a lot. Okay, royal marriages by Desmond. Kildare. Okay. Do I have, right in this episode, a way to do a royal marriage with someone? Lady Elizabeth. The issue is who... Can I see who has 1,000? Brunswick has a massive one. So what is the succession laws here? Brunswick might have one. Denmark. You know what? Let's get a royal marriage with Denmark. He's first in line of the throne. That'll give us some prestige. They gain some as well. their trust, and that's going to be a big one for when that comes in. Okay, we don't have anything like that. Let's keep going with that. Covert actions. Okay, so that's economic. Okay. We're technically already at war, right? Consort of the people. It has become clear to us that Consort Philippa Evnes is a woman with a heart of gold. Her Royal Highness is always does her best to please her husband, King Edward III, and treats her friends with unparalleled kindness. During a recent trip to Glossop, Consort Philippa saw the suffering of its poorest. Okay. She's been drafting a plan to aid the most destitute subjects. Okay, you need funds. Need funds. The almonds will be amazing. Okay. We'll give you that. It's okay. Well, we've taken 2 loans. The interest isn't all that big. Let's start gathering. The war chest one. I see the missions. We're still getting that up. We aren't technically at war. Yeah, we're technically not at war. Okay, that's slowly actually gaining value. And we're trying to get up the idea of innovative. And it's just going to take time. Okay. We can take that off. 42. We're not going to actually do that early. Denmark is our friend. I still don't have a third to do. They don't have the people. Okay, they'll slowly get up. I think the issue is more so control. I would never take it. Can I see family-wise? Oh, she's in France. We... Okay, she's the one married to... And she's already married. Her mom remarry? Oh, how old do they have to be here? Are they not? He's one of our cabinet members. Okay. So is this the rate per month? Yes. Okay, so we'll be fine getting up there. I still want to test out a tall castle in Jersey. I want to see if that is something that can be done. Quick to serve. Okay. Quality. I'd rather have a more professional army. I think that's what it's ultimately going to be. Oh, we had a daughter named Margaret. I want to see if this actually works. How much does Tall Castle cost? 200. Do you want to make a whirl smelter in Hastings? Yeah, whirl smelter in Hastings. Okay. No, it actually did not work. Huh. Interesting. Okay, that is an interesting thing. So it doesn't work like that. Okay. Now that we know, we're going to start gaining stuff here. I did not know it actually functioned like that. This would increase even more. But I think we probably go with roads. Okay, yeah, we're just slowly looking at this. I see. I see where I've already built roads. Is that a thing? Here we go. This is how we can already see roads. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this episode here. I've learned a lot in this hour and a half, and we are going to get some gold up because we need to worry about this war with France, and we are also going to start getting all the exchanges up. I'm not sure, or all the estates up. I'm not sure how many we would raise in levies. Actually, we would actually do a lot with that. I do need another. Where is it? A sergeantry. Let's click over to the next day. It's castles. Cliff. Stockade. No. When's the last? When can I actually? All right, we need fine cloth. Roll toll. A market village in Newcastle. Where's Newcastle? Let's see if this actually just helps them do things. This might actually help them get their power up, where it can actually start making things. Ah, okay. I see. Each market. Any more trade capacity? Can I put a rate in this? The market warehouse. This would do it. But couldn't you just increase the dock? Sayers. I can't actually do more than that. It has to be... Marketplace? Actually. Because what would a marketplace get you? Top assimilation, local burgers power, trade advantage, trade capacity, market access, and burgers trade capacity. Maybe it would be that. This allows me to do stuff elsewhere. Okay. Literacy. Okay. I've learned more things while looking through this. Okay, I need to increase this. Okay. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Go leave a like below, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Later.